All right, y'all, buckle up. I'm making the executive decision to deviate from my normally scheduled content plan this week. And if you somehow missed the title, I'm going to be talking about periods. So if that makes you uncomfortable, here's your sign, here's your warning. So I was scrolling through Reels the other day and I happened upon one that had the words, "I hate consistency." It was a reel regarding ADHD, but she also mentioned how her hormones played a huge role in her being inconsistent. And I had a major light bulb moment and I literally went down the Google rabbit hole about how our monthly cycle applies to our businesses. And when you think about the traditional daily, weekly, or monthly trackers or systems, they're made with a man's 24-hour cycle in mind. Men's hormones stay pretty much the same every single day, while our hormones fluctuate throughout a 28-day period on average. This time period is known as our menstrual cycle, and yes, it is more than just your period. The overall hustle culture makes 100% sense for a man because they show up every single day basically the same. But what if you knew the best time to go live, to shoot videos, to facilitate coaching calls, or to network with other people? I'm sure you probably have an idea of the best time to not do those things, and that's usually the week before your period. Now, this whole concept is something that I wasn't taught in school, and it would have made such a huge difference for my personal life and my business. So if you were like me and you weren't taught this in school or have no idea how your cycle works, this is your sign to really dig in and understand what your cycle looks like and how your hormones play into having a really awesome business. So when you work your business around your cycle, it'll help you feel empowered and productive. So let's quickly walk through these 4 different phases of our cycles and chat through things that you would normally do in your business or find on a tracker or in these systems, plus the best time to do them and not to do them would be. Now, I've included a sample system based off of our cycles as a free resource below this video, so be sure to grab that after you watch this video. Now, I want you to think about your cycle as kind of like a bell curve, right? Day 1 of your menstrual cycle is at the bottom. Then as we go through the follicular stage, then up to ovulation, that is at the peak of the bell. And then after that, we go back down into the luteal phase, which normally gets the bad rap because of PMS. But back down to day 1. And while yes, there are specific tasks that we should be doing maybe on a specific day, maybe the first day of the month or maybe the last day of the month, but instead of basing your business off of the calendar month, base it off of your cycle. So day 1 of your cycle is day 1 of your period, and this can last anywhere from 3 to 7 days. In this particular phase, our hormones have just crashed, so it is the best time to rest. Even if you feel you have energy, really take this time to visualize your upcoming month. This is your great time to goal set, plan those next 28 days. You might also find it best to minimize social interactions or maybe any speaking opportunities you have. After menstruation, while coming up that bell curve, you're going to be in what's called the follicular stage. You're getting your energy back, and this is the perfect time to do all the things that you were visualize or goal setting about during the menstruation phase. If you're feeling up to it, this is when you can start scheduling coaching calls, speaking events, networking opportunities, etc. Over these next 2 weeks, you're going to be a powerhouse of productivity. So schedule all the things that you need to get done during this time. So next up is ovulation, and this is when we officially reach the top of that bell curve. Ovulation is pretty much a 1-day event, so if you can pinpoint exactly when that is for you, this is when you are going to look and feel the best and most confident, so go live. Schedule the most important speaking engagements, your group trainings, your coaching calls. Anything that's going to take a lot of energy, schedule it around this time. Now, the last half of your cycle is the luteal phase. This will last around 14 days. So if you're considering that bell curve, that first week, you're still coming down off of that energy high. So you can still do some of the things that you were doing during that phase, but start to limit those in-person activities, right? So in the second half of the luteal phase, your brain is more susceptible to being rewired. So if you're focusing on those affirmations, this is the time to double down on those. This is also the perfect time to harness your creative abilities. So plan out your content for the upcoming month. You can even schedule it, but really think about the things that you want to accomplish. You can also use this time to organize your office or do any type of bookkeeping or accounting that needs to be completed for the month. But again, with that bell curve, the second week of your luteal phase, this is when we most associate the symptoms of PMS. This is when we are at our most irritable. So this is not the time to be booking coaching calls, to be going live, to have intense social interactions, unless you feel comfortable doing so. You know your body best. For me, I was unintentionally scheduling coaching calls during this phase, and I was getting super frustrated over the smallest things. But in hindsight, it makes a lot of sense. I should not have been scheduling calls during that time. So you might know what your cycle looks like already, so you can start pinpointing where you are, what you should and shouldn't be doing during these times. But if you're like me and unaware of these things, I follow an Instagram account that has a really awesome tracker that you can start pinpointing when these things are happening. And of course, there are apps out there that will help you track it as well. But I will put her Instagram account down in the description so that way you can sign up and grab her tracker for free. Now, if you want to dive deeper into this rabbit hole, there are a ton of different exercises you should be doing in the different phases of your cycle. There are different foods that you should be eating to support your cycle during those different phases. But it really is incredibly interesting to tie things back to business. So if this resonated with you, if you got something out of it and you're starting to think about how can I sync my cycle to my business, or my business to my cycle, take a screenshot, share it in your stories, tag me, and tell me what your biggest takeaway was. And while you're waiting for next week's video, definitely check out these other two. If you like this video, be sure to share it with one of your business besties. And if you want to see more videos like this, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell so you get notifications. And I will see you in the next video.